Hey everybody, I am back and this is going to be a video about my February book haul, which I'm actually going to split into two videos because there was a book sale at the library and I went a little bit nuts. So the library book sale haul video will be separate because otherwise we'd be here all night. So let's get started. First, one of the books that I picked up is Frankly in Love. This is one, I partially picked it because of the cover. I mean, it's gorgeous. It also has these blue pages. I don't know. I'm a sucker for novelty. This is a YA love story with kind of an Asian American bent to it. So I am very much looking forward to this one. Frankly in Love by David Yoon. Next is a book called The Lost Night. I think I've mentioned before that I have a little ritual when I travel that I buy a book at the airport. So I always come back from every trip with at least 2 books. This is one of those airport pickups. This is a contemporary telling of a night where a bunch of people got drunk and something happened, and then somebody has to kind of piece it all together years later and face what they did. So this feels like kind of a coming of age thriller sort of. So we'll see how this one is. I don't know really anything past that, so this one will see what happens in this one. Next is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure about how to pronounce that last name. I've seen this on a lot of lists and it sounds really fun and kind of hilarious, and the cover gets me every time. Like, I relate to this woman a lot. So My Year of Rest and Relaxation, this is another one that I'm really excited to finally get to. Next I have Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. I picked this up because I have read from so many people online that they absolutely loved this book. So I figured I would give it a shot. They said that this was very moving and just a fantastic read. So I feel like, hey, let's see what Being Mortal is all about. That's literally all I know. It says medicine and what matters in the end. So I'm guessing this is a book about living a good life or something like that and not being so concerned about death. That's my guess. But we'll see. After I read it, I'll tell you all what it's about. Next, I have a memoir. This is called Half Broke by Ginger Gaffney. I am a sucker for any book with a horse in it. As soon as I saw the cover of this, I was pretty much a goner. But this is about a woman who, I think she works at the place. It's a place that helps people who are convicts or addicts or something train wild horses. And it's supposed to be therapeutic, and it's supposed to help them with their kind of coping skills, because you can't really make a horse do what you want. You kind of have to coax them into it, and there are consequences when you try to get around that. So I think this will be an interesting book. I'm excited to read this memoir. I have a feeling there will need to be a lot of tissues nearby in order to get through this one. So Half Broke by Ginger Gaffney. Next I have Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I read Little Fires Everywhere last year or the year before, and it was so good. And so I thought, why not? This is her debut novel, I believe. So I have no idea what it's about. I just know that she wrote it, and that's all I care about. So it's a pretty short book. Looks like it'll be a pretty quick read, which Little Fires Everywhere, I think I tore through that in a weekend. So anyway, Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. Next we have The Blind Assassin with Margaret Atwood. I think I've mentioned in a couple of other videos that I am doing the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, and because this is the year of 2020, they have a prompt of a book that has something to do with vision, either an impairment or an enhancement, and so this one fits that title or that prompt with The Blind Assassin, and it also sounds very kind of, I mean, it's like the Art Deco cover with the fancy dress. Like, sure, I'll give that a shot. And I know everybody's reading the Testaments and blah, 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 but I was thinking something maybe a little less, you know, pessimistic might be good. This sounded like more of a kind of fun thriller story. So we'll see. The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. Next, I have a book that has been on my list for a while, and I saw it in the store and said, hey, that's on my wish list. So I decided to pick it up. This is A History of the World in 6 Glasses by Tom Standage. I love food and I love drinks, and I love reading about the origin of things that we eat and drink as to how they developed, and you know, the kind of the cultural significance of those drinks and foods. So I read a book years ago that it went through chicken and eggs and butter and lettuce and different things that I think we kind of take for granted nowadays, but it was super fascinating to read about all the things. For instance, did you know that most chicken that you eat that is sold in the store comes from an animal that is 6 weeks old? Fun fact, a little gross. But anyway, The History of the World in 6 Glasses I think will be a fun one to read when I'm ready to talk about beverages. So there you go. Tom Standage, History of the World in 6 Glasses. Next is one that was recommended on a podcast that I listened to. This is The Actor's Life, a Survival Guide by Jenna Fischer, who was Pam on The Office. And I listened to this podcast, which is about a bunch of different things, but they have people from Hollywood on this podcast sometimes. And they had her on the show. And I mean, she kind of is Pam, and she's so kind of fun and adorable and down to earth, and I figured, why not? And they said that the book has meaningful advice even if you are not trying to be an actor, which I am not trying to be an actor. So I thought it might be kind of cute. I'm sure there's stuff in here about, you know, putting yourself out there and taking rejection and, you know, other things that are hard. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one when the time comes. That's The Actor's Life, a Survival Guide by Jenna Fischer. And last but not least, this is one of the other airport pickups that I got. This is The Queen's Fortune, Desiree, Napoleon, and the Dynasty by Allison Pataki. So this is apparently about a woman who married Napoleon or was, you know, with him at some point and didn't work out, obviously, because he ended up with Josephine, not someone named Desiree. So it says it's a novel, but I'm sure it's, you know, like historical fiction. So we'll see what this one yields. I honestly know nothing else about it other than the title and, you know, some basic stuff I know about Napoleon. So that should, and I mean, it does have a really beautiful cover. So, you know, I'll give it a shot. Airports sell such fascinating things. Anyway, that is the last book that I picked up this month, other than the library haul, which I'm telling you is nuts. So I will probably be doing a recap video soon, so stay tuned to check that out. Thanks!